Hey guys, how's it going? So in this video I'm going to show you guys a disgusting build. Pretty much broken to in essence. That's going to be the perfect savior. I like to call it savior or Sabo build, so sabotaging hooks. Now this is the build. Now I'll go over step by step. I'll have timestamps as well if you want to skip parts or just go straight to the gameplay where I'll show you it in action. I'll have the timestamps for you guys there. So now let's break the build down. Now in terms of, because guys, there's two ways you can break hooks when going. Flashlights is obvious. I don't think I have to cover how to do that. But if the flashlight doesn't work, then you have to resort to the sabotage, right? But there's only two ways you're going to sabotage. Either by anticipating the killer. So basically, as he's approaching the hook, you're already pre-sabotaging the hook, so by the time he gets there, the hook is going to be broken, okay? And then he's going to have to figure out a way to find another one. But usually this doesn't work as well because sometimes he can see it from afar and he would change the hook right away, you know, which it doesn't buy you enough time. Other times the destroying of the hook just takes too long and he can like melee you, you know, before you finish the sabotaging. So that's the more inconsistent. It does work, but it's the more inconsistent one, which is the one you try to anticipate the hook is going on, especially if you're trying that alone as well. Sometimes you're anticipating that he's going to go to, I don't know, the hook on the right, but then he goes to the hook on the left, and then you just, you know, fuck it up, you lose the save. So the way that I'm going to show you guys, which is the active and sort of reactive sabotaging hook, which requires this build, is actually pretty much guaranteed, okay? It's guaranteed. There's no way he can stop you from doing that. And this is why it kind of breaks, it makes it a pretty broken build, because it's guaranteed. There's nothing at all the killer can do to avoid that. Now in terms of items, ideally you would want to use Alex toolboxes, okay, because it's the fastest one to break hooks. You also need to have the hacksaw add-on. This is the green one. You can see, and a cutting wire, which is the yellow one. Both will increase the speed in which the Alex toolbox breaks, okay? As far as offerings, you probably want to go with the petrify oak, would probably be the best offering you can use for this build, which would make the hooks appear, you know, further between each other. Now these perks are kind of mandatory, which is Saboteur. This is, in this case, if you're using the Alex toolbox, the Saboteur is mainly so you can see the aura of the hooks, because you're mostly going to be breaking with the box, not with this perk. Okay, although you can still use both together. Now also sometimes you can use Saboteur to save, you know, for charges from the box as well. Now breakout, in theory, is not really necessary, but in practice it makes a huge difference, because it helps you catch up. Not only helps with the wiggle, so the survivor will get out faster, but which obviously helps tremendously, but it also helps you catch up to the killer when he's moving towards the hook. You often will not be able to catch up in practice unless you have breakout on, so it's almost essential as well. And finally, another perk that's kind of essential is Dead Hard, and I'm going to show you guys in the gameplay how well this works, okay, and why I say it's so essential, because you can basically use this to get extra body block hits, among other things. Meadow of Man is another very good one, since we're going to be taking a lot of body blocks, usually when sabotaging the hooks. Again, I'm going to show you guys in the gameplay. So having Meadow of Man just adds an exponential factor of fun to the build, as I'm going to show you guys. And with Dead Hard, you can stack this up like nothing, and again, I'm going to show you guys in the gameplay. So that would be the build with items. Now a build without items, if you still want to go for saves, it's probably going to be something like this. So you probably bring your flashlight if you're a guy that likes the flashlights. If you're not, you can still, you know, totally just use another toolbox, but you're just not going to be able to use them the same way that I'm going to show you here, okay? If you're using a normal toolbox, it has to be the Alex with those two add-ons to be fast enough. Now again, we have the Saboteur, because obviously if we don't have the toolbox, we need Saboteur to toolbox it, to sabotage, right? But in this instance, we're mostly going to be using the Saboteur to anticipate a hook, or to bait out a hit, as I'm going to show you guys in the gameplay when you're not using the Alex's toolbox. Dead hard again, breakout again, and here like to fit with Bond. On this version of the build, if you want to take off Meta of Mana for Bond, you can do that as well. Okay, Meta of Mana is not necessary, it just really adds to the fun. But Bond will let you see much easier where your teammates are being chased, so you can find where the chase is at and be prepared for the Saboteur and whatnot, as well as the flashlight save. You know, you can see the direction your teammates fell on, you know, you can pretty much know everything. And also because we're going to be getting injured a lot, so Bond also helps us find our teammates faster and easier so they can heal us, alright? Because you can see there's no healing anything here in this build. If you're not a flashlight guy, you could also bring the med kit instead, so it would facilitate this healing. Now, if you do not want to use any items, okay, but you still want to break the hook as fast as with the Alex toolbox with these 2 add-ons, the fastest combo you'll be able to do, you would require you to do this on a Survivor Friends, okay, but I'm going to show you the best combo for that. Okay guys, so this is the 3rd variation of the build. So this is for when you do not have the Alex toolbox, or maybe you don't have the add-ons for some reason, but you still want to break the hook as fast as if you had the Alex toolbox. So the best way you could replicate that is by having these perks on. Now the only issue with this is that you pretty much have to sacrifice your entire build just to make that happen. But the bonus is that you can kind of get the same effect without necessarily needing such a rare item, right? So leader, this would mostly only work on Survivor Friends, okay, simply because of leader, because the person that is being carried is the one that has to be using leader, okay, not you. So basically, if you're playing on Survivor Friends, you and your friend would both be using leader, so that, you know, you can provide leader to your friend when he's saboing the hook that you're being carried to. Does that make sense? So both of you would have to be using leader, so that your leader can rub off on him and his leader can rub off on you. Okay, so just one guy wouldn't be, for the most part, enough. But leader increases by 25%. Okay, this will affect the sabotaging speed. So you see here, Saboteur sabotages by 2.5 seconds. So these 2.5 seconds will be influenced by these 25% of leader. Okay, so this would apply to the reactive healing especially. Okay, it would also work on the method 1, which is the anticipating Sabo. At least it would only activate once the survivor being carried would be in 8 meters distance from you. It would activate leader, but especially for the reactive healing, it would work really well because you're already inside the distance of leader, right? Now leader is 25%. I believe if you stack up these two, which is the hacksaw right here, which is 20% as you see there, and you also have the cutting wire, which is 15%. You see, it's almost leader by alone is almost the same. It's very close to the same as you using these 2 add-ons already. Okay, so just leader alone already kind of substitutes for these 2 add-ons. Just remember that both you and your friend have to be using it, not just one person. Then we also have resilience, so adds another 9% to that. And finally, we have spine chill. So this works mostly on the especially on the reactive, because you're gonna have to take hits to do the reactive method. So then, as soon as you take the first hit, resilience would activate, and then you're already getting the 9%. So it works perfectly in synergy with that. And spine chill, because when you sabotage the hook, the killer will be looking at you, so you're gonna get these extra 6% as well. So if you see here, we have 25 plus 9 plus 6. It's pretty much already those 2 add-ons plus a little more. So it's still not like 100% the same as the Alex toolbox, because the box by itself already has, you see right there, a 50% bonus to sabotage. So it's already quite a big deal. But however, if you're using a build like this, you could even try instead using, for example, a normal toolbox, and basically instead of using the add-ons, or even using the add-ons itself if you have them, and then these other perks would sort of make up for the difference that the Alex toolbox would do, if you know what I mean, right? So you can kind of try these perks. These are the only perks you can try to sort of compensate for that speed, okay? The reason why you would want this is because otherwise, for the reactive method especially, the killer would be able to down you, okay? So he would be able to hit you twice. Even if you do happen to sabotage the hook in time because of the extra speed, he will still be able to down you before the guy frees up from his shoulders. So this is not ideal, okay? but again, it does help with the speed, but it's not ideal. Now this is also works as a possible counter, because like I told you guys, Medal of Man is an option perk. You don't have to necessarily use it. It's more like a fun build, fun perks. Same thing with Bond. So you could switch that for Leader, for example, you and your friend, or even Resilience for that matter. Yeah, these two would be the best ones, either one of these two, so that this would also stack up on top of the Alex Toolbox if you do happen to be using it. So I think with the Alex Toolbox and those two add-ons is about like 1.6 seconds, 1.7 seconds to break the hook. But if you have Leader on and Resiliency, those 1.7 would be even less. Okay, so possibly you would not even need a dead hard like I show on the game. I'm going to show you the gameplay soon to avoid the second hit, especially combining that with Breakout. Okay, guys. So these are other possible perks you can throw in there just to increase that speed for whatever reason you may want to have that extra speed for. And also because they counter pretty much the only possible counter the killer can do to this, especially to the reactive method, which is if he has save the best for less, right? Is the only possible thing he can do to counter that, because then he will recover faster and thus give you less time to sabotage the hook. But if you're using these perks, it could, like for example, Leader 25%. That's pretty much counters save the best for less right there. Okay. Now, guys, let me show you the gameplay, and you're gonna understand why this is so broken. Okay, so here you see I'm only going to be able to catch up because of Breakout, and also she's going to wiggle much faster again because of Breakout. So Breakout just kind of changes the game. That's why in theory it's not necessary, but in practice it makes like a huge difference. You see right here, without Breakout I would have probably needed to take another hit there. Here's another example. This is example better with Medal of Man. So you can see Medal of Man you can step up very easily. So you see right there, it was 2 stacks of Medal of Man already, considering if I did not have it stacked already. Here, so this is an example. I could have done the anticipated method, but I'm going to choose to do the reactive one, and I'm going to heal first, simply because with Breakout I can catch up very easily, and also I'm trying to stack up Medal of Man. So you can see I still need 2 stacks, but it's very easy to get. Also Breakout, you can dodge hits like that much more easily. Now notice I do not have the Alex Toolbox, so I'm going to bait out the hit by sabotaging with the perk, but then I cancel it and I take it with Dead Hard, okay? So essentially you bait the hit out, and then you get 2 stacks of Medal of Man from baiting the hit, right? Because you take the first one and then the second one. I'm actually not entirely sure, but I believe he cannot hook the person while you're during the sabotage action. So he's actually forced to actually hit you. So you cancel it and then you do the Dead Hard, and that's what happens. You get 2 stacks easily, and plus you still get the save, right? Because you still Breakout going on. He's wiggling off, and you're essentially getting yourself alone, just 2 body blocks. Not to mention what your teammates can do as well. Now this is just a fun example. You see at the end game, I already have it. Medal of Man is stacked very easily because of that. So I take he has no head, by the way. So I take a hit with no head because I have Medal of Man, and then I take another hit with no head because I have Dead Hard. So yeah, this can also kind of help to save matches as well and your teammates. My other teammate right there had Unbreakable, so he got up, as you can see right there. So that was a 3-man escape. And here's just another example of the anticipated method. You would do this with the Sabotage perk right there, okay? You would not use the Alex Toolbox for that. You don't need that speed because you're already anticipating it. So you use the perk in the case like this. And here again, finally, a very good. You see, I'm doing reactive. I'm reacting to whatever he goes to, and only because of Breakout I can catch up. You see, this would be impossible without Breakout, and also impossible without the Alex Toolbox. Only with the Alex Toolbox I can do this right here. And you see, and you take the Dead Hard on the second hit so you don't go down, okay? And you also, if you want to, stack up Medal of Man. But Dead Hard is necessary there so you don't go down on that second hit, okay? And without the Alex Toolbox, you cannot do that at that speed. He will down you. He'll hit you the second time before you can finish the breaking of the hook. But with the Alex Toolbox and the 2 add-ons, it's possible. You just need the Dead Hard to make sure you don't go down after it. And you do this is guaranteed. He has to hit you or drop the guy, or he does not have time enough to reach another hook, considering you have Breakout. Okay, so the reactive method is the more consistent one. It's pretty much guaranteed. And you see right here again, because of Breakout, in this case I didn't even have to take a hit, just because of Breakout. Oh, actually the second hit in this case, because you're dodging so easily with Breakout. So yeah guys, that's the video. Hope it helps. Try it out. This video is so much fun. It's kind of actually impossible to hook if you have, like, especially 2 people doing this in the game. The killer basically will never hook anyone. It's quite fun. So yeah, see you guys later. Take care. Oh, and this is not considering flashlight, guys, because you can still stack up flashlights on top of all of that.